A proud supporter of this program, Riverbend Food Bank's vision is a hunger-free Iowa and Illinois.
Whelan Presley Funeral Home and Crematory has been serving Quad City families since 1889. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes are located in Rock Island, Milan, and Reynolds and are proud supporters of WQPT.
From fighting floods to ringing bells, the priorities of the Salvation Army. And it's hard to believe another Star Wars film out just before Christmas in the cities. It's our annual look at the holiday movies, the big winners of the year and the big disappointment from the eyes of a guy who has seen them all. That is just ahead. But first, the ringing of the bells. The Salvation Army has had a busy year. It was on the front lines of helping flood victims and has changed its focus on how it helps the homeless. All this in a year when they've moved their Davenport offices and changed some of its focus. And joining us is Major Scott Shelbourne of the Quad Cities Salvation Army.
Hello.
Are you happy 2019's almost over?
It's been a busy year.
Let's talk about what's going on right now, and that, of course, is your kettle campaign, your bell ringing campaign, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
You have a lofty goal of more than $800,000.
Yeah, that's what we view in our budget. We want to be at the top level of what we're doing, so that's where that $825,000 comes from for our Make a Difference campaign this Christmas season.
People will hear the bell ringing for quite some time, but the campaign lasts past the holidays, doesn't it?
Right. The kettles are out till Christmas Eve, but the campaign goes on through January 2020.
How critically important is this campaign? I mean, this is what you're best known for as far as fundraising is concerned. Is it also your biggest fundraising campaign?
Yeah, it's our largest fundraising campaign of the year. About 60% of our overall operation funds come through our Make a Difference campaign at the Christmas holiday season.
I want to talk about what is really affecting people right now. Of course, the cold weather and the holidays. And we've seen you make a transition on how you're dealing with homelessness. You used to have the homeless shelter in the downtown Davenport area. That has since closed. It has been sold off. You've used the money to reinvest in other programs and services. How's the new program going?
It's actually running phenomenal. The first year that we were on Kirkwood Boulevard in the new program, we actually sheltered more people than we did when we owned our own building, because we're not paying all the operational expenses of that huge building anymore. We can roll more of that into actually helping people. So we actually had more nights of shelter in 2019 than we did in 2018.
And nights of shelter means what?
Well, if you have a family of 4 and we're housing them one night, that's 4 nights of shelter. So we helped more people, had more nights of shelter, not owning a building, but using extended stay hotels around the area. And but then the other side of that was we were able to roll some of the funding that we were using before to house people in our own building, actually to prevent people from needing the shelter services.
Because that seems to be the big focus that you have right now, is not so much to provide this structure, but to get people transitioned, if anything else.
Right. And so we have our rapid rehousing program. We're starting a new transitional housing pilot program pretty soon, right after the first of the year. Those things to get people situated in a place that's adequate for their family, number one. Number two, provide resources to them from the Salvation Army and collaborating with about 25 other agencies to really just put a lot of effort to helping a family get through the first few months of living in a dwelling that's adequate for them, but then also that they can start saving a safety net of resources. So if there's a financial hiccup, a car repair, somebody has to take off work for a couple weeks, they can still make the rent payment and not have to come back for additional services.
Because let's be honest, for a person who needs your help desperately as far as temporary housing, maybe they get out of the temporary housing for a period of time, but they're just still a little above that need for that safety net. How do you do that? How do you try to make them more independent of you? And this is people that may be seeking your help through no other problem than, as you said, a major bill, a major medical bill, something happening financially traumatic.
Yeah, the federal government's done a lot of study on this, and if most people had between $500 and $600 in a savings account, that's all they really need to get over these little nuances that come into their life. So it's really about our case managers and other agencies. We all work together with these families to try to get them to start not thinking paycheck to paycheck, but thinking long term. You know, if you just save $25 a week out of your paycheck, that equals several $1,000s over the year. So over a couple of years, and then you're building up that safety net and have those resources to be available should a car repair happen or something like that, so that you don't miss the next rent payment and put your family in jeopardy of being evicted.
Let's talk about 2019 and the floods. You were on the front line. The Salvation
Yeah.
Army was coordinating with other organizations to make sure that people were served not only at the beginning of the flood and during, but also afterwards with cleaning supplies. How big of a burden was this, and it was a disaster, was this disaster for an organization such as yours?
Well, it's a big burden because we had to pull in a lot of resources outside of our area, actually, because the flood response from the Salvation Army was beyond our capacity locally to serve it. So we were pulling from around surrounding communities from Salvation Army units to get extra volunteers in to manage it. And of course, you know, the flood went on for a very long time. So that kind of strained volunteers and such. But you know, the coordination with especially the Scott County Emergency Management Agency and the COAD and the volunteer groups in the area, it just was phenomenal. We all found our niche, worked well together, and made sure we served the most people possible.
I hate to say this, but I mean, these floods, these 100-year, 500-year floods, are now being anticipated even. I mean, the city of Davenport saying, we don't know what's going to happen within the next 5 years, that there could be another flood like this. How does an organization, a nonprofit such as yours, luckily you have a national backing, but how do you figure you're going to be planning for 2020 and beyond?
Well, we're already planning some volunteer training that's going to come up early this spring. That's going to happen at our Kirkwood facility to get as many volunteers up to speed on how to handle situations that come with responding to these kind of disasters. Also, our divisional headquarters in Peoria has pre-positioned a lot of supplies in Salvation Army warehouses locally here in the Quad Cities to make sure that we have enough stuff on handy and ready to go, so that should that kind of response be needed, we have everything we need to initially respond to it.
But and that's an interesting point that you said, initially respond. But as you said, and I don't want to minimize any other disaster, tornadoes come and they go.
Right.
Fires come and they go. A flood comes and it stays. And that seems to have been a major impact for so many families as well as organizations.
And it takes a really long time for folks, property owners, to recover from a flood. So the Salvation Army, obviously we're in bed in the community, but we're here for the long term to help people. And we help people several weeks after the flood response was over, just continuing to give them food. And a lot of times we were just there as a listening ear, offering pastoral support, because people are really heartbroken. They've lost pets, lost a lot of family heirlooms, and it really stresses them out. So we're just there to help people in any way we can to make sure that they can get back to some kind of stability in life.
People might forget that the flood impact still continues in the Quad Cities area, like a form of PTSD for some of these people. I mean, are you still seeing people? Are you still trying to serve people that were impacted?
Actually, when we were signing up some families for Christmas assistance, for toys, and food assistance, those stories were still coming out. The reason they had to pay so much money to help get their house back in order because insurance didn't cover all the costs and things like that they're coming to the Salvation Army for assistance to help their family with Christmas. So those stories are still coming out.
One of the other programs that you have, of course, is you're helping veterans, because about 8%, they say, of the nationwide homeless population is American servicemen and women, veterans that for various reasons find themselves homeless. What programs do you have specifically for veterans? And for somebody who knows somebody who needs that safety net, what do you suggest?
Yeah, well, we have our homeless prevention program, so folks come in and veterans can come in and talk to our case managers to handle that, to help them keep from getting evicted. We also locally facilitate the coordinated entry system for the Quad Cities. So if a homeless veteran or anybody who's homeless comes in, we do an initial intake with them, and twice a week we meet with about 25 other agencies to make sure that every bed that's available to somebody who's homeless gets filled every single week, so that the most people are served by all the area agencies, and the Salvation Army helps facilitate that and make sure people are moving from homelessness to a stable environment as soon as possible.
Because the holiday season is not easy for everyone, and the winter season certainly isn't as well.
Yeah, and we're part of the mix and helping everybody find a bed and get out of the cold. So, I mean, that's what we're here for.
And when it comes to the family services outreach that you do have, I mean, a lot of it is just that, families. We're not just talking about adults. You're making sure that children are sheltered as well.
Right. a lot of times it's a single mom with several kids, but it's all different. Whatever you think a family is, that's who comes through our doors, and that's who we're trying to help.
Major Scott Shelbourne from the Salvation Army. This is the reason why you're ringing the bells.
Yes.
So you need as much help as you can get.
We appreciate every bit anybody can give.
Thank you so much for joining us. We
God bless
appreciate it. In a moment, what's the movie you shouldn't miss during the holidays? But first, here's Laura Adams, Out and About.
This is Out and About for December 16th through 22nd. If the weather outside is frightful, check out all of the holiday music on WQPT December 19th starting at 8. Or get out and watch the Quad City Storm as they take to the ice at the Tax Slayer Center. The gardens at the Quad City Botanical Center will be in winter bloom with over 100,000 glowing lights during the 3rd annual Winter Nights Winter Lights. Bundle up, stroll the gardens at night, then warm up inside with free hot chocolate. December 19th starting at 4:30. Rube Goldberg, the World of Hilarious Invention exhibit continues at the Putnam Museum and Science Center through January 5th. And it's Family Story Time December 19th at 6 p.m. at the Silvis Public Library. It's free and recommended for kids through 3rd grade. Quad City Arts in downtown Rock Island present a series of large-scale photographic prints by Chris Rayburn and glass art by John Miller through January 24th. Comedy is on tap with the late night shows every Saturday in December. Come to the Black Box Theater in downtown Moline December 21st at 8 p.m. for the popular improvisational shows Survivor and Shakespeare. On stage at Circa 21, it's Mr. Scrooge, a children's musical closing the 28th, and Elf the Musical running through the 29th. And the Tony Award-winning Broadway musical Bandstand is coming to the Adler Theater December 16th. For more information, visit WQPT.org.
Thank you, Laura, and happy holidays from all of us at WQPT. We hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And to enjoy the season, we went to the First Presbyterian Church in Davenport to hear their choir's holiday concert. Under the musical direction of Matt Bishop, here's the choir performing Joy to the World. Davenport's First Presbyterian Choir with Joy to the World. It's a holiday tradition for many families. Open the presents, then hit the movie theaters. It's a big money season for the cinema, and it's Hollywood's last few weekends to release movies that could be Oscar contenders next year. And every year, River City's reader, movie buff, Mike Schultz watches movie after movie after movie, whether he wants to or not. And joins us again
Ain't
this
that
year.
the truth? It's good to see you again.
It seems like every year we've had you here, we have to talk about Star Wars and another Star Wars
Isn't that strange?
release.
Annually, seriously.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, well, it's ending. I mean, this.
Didn't you say this last time?
No. That was part
Okay.
2 of the new trilogy. This is part 3 of the new trilogy. I'm gonna have to watch the previous one though, because I don't remember much about what happened except some of the Luke Skywalker stuff. But I mean, I remember the players.
Yeah.
You know, we got Daisy Ridley and we've got the rest of the cast.
Yeah, let's
Oscar
be honest.
Isaac.
Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill are both in it.
I would guess.
That's what I was told. Yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, Carrie Fisher for sure. Mark Hamill, that would be tough, but he might just be voiceovering or flashbacking or whatever they do.
J.J. Abrams directing it.
He did a great job on Force Awakens. So
that's a
I
big
like
deal?
that one a lot. I had a good time with that. I'm looking forward to it. I just don't remember much about it. So, yeah. I mean, it's been 2 years since that one, the last of this series.
So is it really going to be over? I mean, because a lot of people are going to say, no, I want more.
No, I mean, they've got a whole plan with standalone movies within that universe that they can sell forever. It'll be back in 15 years as another trilogy, I'm sure. It makes money. It'll be back.
We got some other Christmas releases. I mean, for people who absolutely love history movies, you got 1917 with Benedict Cumberbatch and Colin Firth, directed by Sam Mendes.
That one looks kind of amazing. Have you heard about how they shot this one? They've shot it. It's all about 2 soldiers in World War I who have to go look for one of their brothers. But it's filmed all to make it look like one continuous shot for 2 hours. And so it kind of follows these 2 soldiers through the battlefield and through all these different areas. And it looks, they have like invisible edits, so you don't see the trickery going on. Kind of like Birdman did it a few years back.
That's what I was thinking, yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
but as a World War I epic with all sorts of special effects and stuff, looks fun. Looks great.
Does that stuff bother you at all?
I dig it. I like looking for the invisible edits. It's like, that was one.
But
okay,
I mean, is that kind of a problem for you? Is that you're looking at the technical aspects rather than sitting back and enjoying the
I think it's more enjoying the technical aspects of it, of enjoying the sleight of hand that pulled that off in a way that makes you go, whoa, how did you do that? Nice.
Got a big animated movie coming up. Will Smith, Tom Holland voicing Spies in Disguise.
Spies in Disguise. This is one, I go to the movies with my best friend's 5-year-old a lot. This is the one, she can't wait to see this. It sounds simple. It's Will Smith as a spy. He gets turned into a pigeon and becomes a spy pigeon. That's all I need to know. I'm on board, Will Smith and Tom Holland, who's adorable, of course. He's funny. It looks like a hoot. It looks like a riot.
Does Hollywood actually have this all figured out for the holidays? Is that you have to have the sequels or the prequels, and then you have the animated
I would
favorite?
imagine, yeah. I mean, that's why it's kind of nice that the animated movie isn't a sequel or a prequel. It's actually something, original, I guess. So that's a nice change of pace for us.
So don't you need a rom-com in there somewhere? Don't you need something that's
You
date
used
night?
to. We don't get them anymore. Those are done. I mean, as far as for now at least, at the movies, you can find them on streaming and stuff all you want, but they don't really release rom-coms anymore. Can you think of one? I can't think of the last one that Hollywood did, at least, that wasn't like an independent film.
I'm thinking
it's a genre that's gone.
I'm thinking Jumanji.
I can't wait for Jumanji. I can't wait.
Well, but let's be honest. That is another movie that is, once again, a sequel to a sequel.
Yeah.
They really took this in a different direction, because the first one with Robin Williams was, we were talking a little darker, much more action. This one having a lot more comedy in it.
So, and the first one was really funny. Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart and Jack Black. So funny, and came out of nowhere. Like you're saying, I didn't expect anything from it. I'm not sure if you did either.
No.
I thought, okay, it'll be throwaway, fine. It was a riot. I mean, it made like $400 million. So, I mean, people noticed that this one's actually good. It did take a lot of people by surprise, I think. And this one looks hilarious, too.
Well, and these movies also, I mean, they're making so many movies, of course, for an international audience as well as the American audience.
Yeah.
And these are the types of movies that really do well elsewhere.
Exactly. There's not a lot. It's not about intricate dialogue. It's not about, you don't have to know American culture necessarily to enjoy them. They're big, they're loud, they're funny. They translate to pretty much every language.
But a very true American movie is the Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, which was released and is continuing, of course, right now. I mean, is that one of those feel-good Tom Hanks could do no wrong type of movies?
I wasn't crazy about it. I thought it was fine. I thought it was really well directed, but it's not terribly interesting. And the biggest problem is that Fred Rogers isn't a terribly interesting, dramatic character, because he is, if we take people's word for it, he was just that decent and that good. But that's not really an interesting kind of person to spend 2 hours with, you know? There's a reason his show was a half hour and geared towards 4 and 5-year-olds. Perfection show. But yeah, and Tom Hanks is fine, but you can't ever get out of your head, this is Tom Hanks doing Mr. Rogers. It never feels like, oh, I'm actually seeing Mr. Rogers, how he might have been. It's like, nice job, Tom Hanks. And that's...
Once again.
Yeah, exactly. Again, right.
So what did you see that you thought was the worst of this past year?
Oh gosh, that's hard.
There's that many? Or?
No, it wasn't a bad year all told. The Charlie's Angels reboot was crummy. There was a John Cena fireman comedy that just came out, Playing with Fire, I think it was, that I just wanted to die during. The one that I thought was the most boring was The Lion King. If you're going to reboot everything in every canon, but the Disney canon especially, at least find some way to make it a little bit different. This was literally a shot-for-shot version of the same movie that came out 25 years ago, except with upgraded animation, so everything looks real. You know, I don't see the accomplishment of that besides you spent $200 million to make something that you knew everyone would love anyway, and didn't change it one iota. It was so dull. It just drove me crazy.
And real quickly, your favorite that you think nobody saw?
I think nobody saw?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, then your favorite.
Okay. The Irishman, the Martin Scorsese on Netflix, is astounding, is really astounding. 3.5 hours.
Sorry.
I've seen it 4 times so far. This is partly because I have no life, but also because I really, really do enjoy that movie enormously. It's so good. But a lot of great ones this year. Us, the Jordan Peele horror movie, was spectacular. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Quentin Tarantino movie, and Knives Out. Oh man, that's still in theaters now. Go see Knives Out if you haven't yet. Daniel Craig, murder mystery. Fun!
Mike Schultz, he knows it all. He's seen it all.
Oh, stop that.
So nice to see you.
You too, buddy. Absolutely.
Always have a great holiday.
You as well.
And you can check out his reviews dating back to the beginning of the century at the River Cities website. We want to welcome you to a big party that we're throwing in our own honor. Tickets are now on sale for WQPT Champagne on the Rocks event. It's coming up Friday, January 24th at the Rhythm City Casino and Resort. A night for you to bid on great prizes and perhaps win some jewelry as well. Get details about Champagne on the Rocks at our website, WQPT.org. On the air, on the radio, on the web, and on your mobile device. Thanks for taking some time to join us as we talk about the issues on the cities.
A proud supporter of this program, Riverbend Food Bank's vision is a hunger-free Iowa and Illinois.
Whelan Presley Funeral Home and Crematory has been serving Quad City families since 1889. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes are located in Rock Island, Milan, and Reynolds and are proud supporters of WQPT.